Welcome to the channel. My name is Menace. Today we're going to talk about a really complicated time for Spider-Man. We're talking about the brand new day era. So after the infamous One More Day story arc, what happens with Spider-Man as a character, basically Spider-Man gets a full-on restart. He's not married anymore. No one remembers his secret identity. For some reason, characters that were dead, now they're back, like Harry Osborn. But Spidey is still sort of on the run because he doesn't want to form part of the superhero registration. So today we're going to cover Amazing Spider-Man issues 549 to 551. Here we get the introduction of 3 new characters. We get Jackpot, Menace, and Freak. We also get a ton of new supporting characters that I really find no interest in, so I'm not going to get into any of those guys. Like Dexter Bennett or the father of Lily Hollister. So things start off with Spider-Man. He's making his normal rounds when he sees what he thinks is a mugging. He jumps into action and he actually discovers that it's not a mugging. We actually have a new superhero called Jackpot who's trying to stop this criminal. And the thing is that with Jackpot, we're coming off the One More Day story arc, and now we have this character that looks exactly like Mary Jane. She talks like Mary Jane. So you know that Spider-Man's going to be totally fixated on her, thinking that she's MJ. But as a reader, you know that the writer's going to try to pull off some comic book storytelling bullshit, and it's not Mary Jane. At least this first Jackpot, because I know that there was a second iteration of this character where that time it was Mary Jane. So in this situation, Spider-Man teams up with Jackpot. They try to stop this thug. They actually do a terrible job, and the bad guy gets away. There, Jackpot actually mentions to Spider-Man that this guy seems to be tied to the new Green Goblin, who she calls the Grey Goblin. We get one really fantastic moment in their dialogue where Spider-Man asks, "Hey, and what is your secret identity?" "I'll tell you mine. My name is Flash Thompson." That had me laughing out loud. We also discover that Jackpot is a registered superhero, but has decided not to bring in Spider-Man. But what happens is, further down in the story, Spider-Man crosses paths again with Jackpot when he's trying to hunt down this new Grey Goblin. And Jackpot's partner tries to arrest Spider-Man. And it's this really obscure character. His name is the Blue Shield. So while Spider-Man's fighting against Blue Shield, all of a sudden, this new Grey Goblin comes flying out of his hideout. Spider-Man immediately springs into action, tries to engage with this new Grey Goblin, and the thing is that he gets his ass handed to him. It seems that this new Goblin has quite a few new tricks up its sleeve. We also discover that this villain calls himself Menace. Now, this new Goblin at first was a really interesting character, but as time passed, you got the feeling that the writers didn't know what to do with him, and his backstory got really convoluted and crazy. So after getting his ass handed to him by Menace, Spider-Man is actually rescued by Jackpot. So as these issues progress, what happens is Spidey actually ends up going to the police looking for help to see if he can find out who Menace is. There he discovers that the police think that he's a serial killer. This is like another big story arc that happens during this time. We have a bunch of murders across New York City, and at each one of these bodies they find a spider tracer. So we have someone trying to frame Spider-Man for these murders. So Spider-Man's barely able to escape from Police Central. Again, he's actually helped by Jackpot. That it seems that she doesn't care that she's a registered hero. She is totally willing to go up against the law. So while all this was going down, we had this like political debate for who was going to become the next mayor to New York City, where basically Menace crashes the party and kidnaps one of the candidates. So now we have Spider-Man and Jackpot hot on Menace's trail. We get a second confrontation where we get a pretty interesting moment where things get out of hand for our heroes, and Menace's Goblin Glider actually ends up impaling the candidate. And it's sort of Jackpot's fault. She didn't do it on purpose, obviously, but she lacked the experience to know how to deal with these type of situations. So she's devastated. Menace is able to escape, and Spider-Man does not stick around to wait for the police. And in the last issue, we have Spider-Man dealing with this junkie who steals from Aunt May's soup kitchen. The guy steals the donation money so he can go buy drugs. And this dipstick is able to slip away from Spider-Man every single time. And what happens with this guy is that by accident, he finds himself in one of Kurt Connor's secret labs. And obviously, since we get the setup that he's a drug addict, he starts injecting all the drugs that he finds there. I do must say that his transformation into the Freak monster, that part is really awesome. Even though Freak as a villain isn't too interesting. So I'm going to leave this video here. I hope you guys liked it. See you guys next time. Bye.